happy Monday, loyal listeners. Most of you already know who I am, but for you new listeners, I'm Annie Rind, and I bring you weekly business solutions using Microsoft Teams and lately Copilot in under 6 minutes per episode. I know you're busy and don't have the time to listen to me drag a solution out for an hour like most podcasts do, so here's the big idea for this week. Last week, we talked about why context is more important than good prompting skills in the early days of Copilot. What is context, you ask? Well, it's your business information. You know, your files, your calendars, your contacts, your communications, and anything else you use Microsoft for. When you spring for the paid version of Copilot, you open all your Microsoft information up to Copilot. And most importantly, your information never leaves the confines of your tenant, which means Microsoft only uses your information to improve Copilot inside your business. Nothing leaves your company. So, there's good news and there's bad news. Consider your business information to be the fields that Copilot mines when it digs for reference information when doing work for you. If you're like most companies and like most new clients we've ever worked with, your fields are actually weed patches. They've not been neatly planted, they've not been cared for, and everything is a mess. The tomatoes can't be found for the horseweeds. Don't feel bad if that describes your business information. In all the years of working with hundreds of organizations, we've only found one who had pristine information fields. So, that's the bad news. The good news is that if you prepare for Copilot by providing good context, which in my analogy is a pristine field full of ripe produce ready to be harvested by Copilot, you'll get much more than incredible efficiencies due to Copilot. The benefits of Copilot used well speak for themselves. Everybody is hearing about the mundane tasks being done in seconds by Copilot. YouTube is full of examples. But if you prepare your shared workspace environment, and in this case your shared workspace environment is Microsoft Teams, you'll also benefit from the extreme efficiencies caused by Teams done right. I've been harping on how Teams should be strategically deployed on this podcast for months now, and that's not even a fraction of how long we've been on that topic. As a matter of fact, it all began with SharePoint in 2001. Microsoft rolled out SharePoint almost 25 years ago, and organizations blew it. They continued using SharePoint in the way they used the old server shared drives. SharePoint became an unorganized dumping ground. Nobody could find anything. But that was not a SharePoint problem. It was an implementation problem. Organizations turned implementation over to the IT folks, and since nobody taught the end users how to strategically set up and use their SharePoint sites, the old habits remained. We used to call it ScarePoint because everyone hated it. Then, Teams came along in 2017. Teams was another incredible tool that was destroyed by organizations. Mesmerized by the bells and whistles, organizations rolled it out, especially during the COVID lockdowns, but once again, they turned it over to IT and nobody learned to strategically leverage those awesome bells and whistles. Don't get me wrong. We all love the IT folks, but they don't own the business. Business leaders and managers own the business. So, when it came time to align SharePoint and Teams with their unique processes, they didn't have a clue. And since IT's business is handling technology and not fixing business processes, neither SharePoint nor Teams was customized to meet business needs. Two great tools, two giant blunders among the business world. Don't let Copilot be your third tech blunder. Let's get it right this time. So, the title of this episode is The Triple Value of Preparing for Copilot. We named it that because when you prepare the fields for Copilot to effectively mine for information, you're getting a do-over on Teams implementation. You never got the extreme benefits of SharePoint or Teams done right in all likelihood, so now, when you get your Teams environment in shipshape, you not only get the value of Copilot, but you get the value of SharePoint and Teams that you never got before. You'll get the organizational value of SharePoint. Your files will be so neatly organized. You'll get the collaborative boost from Teams when it's done right. And you might be saying, but we keep our files in Teams, not SharePoint. Well, that's a topic for another day, but SharePoint is the beast behind the Teams interface. Teams done right means SharePoint done right behind the scenes, and I know that may be blowing your mind right now, but it's really not hard if you put somebody on the task. Another alternative for you, even if you're a do-it-yourselfer, is to set up a free 1-hour session with Arnie over at countyquest.com. Tell him you want a plan for getting your SharePoint and Teams environment properly cultivated in preparation for Copilot. 1 hour. Free. He'll tell you the steps and answer your questions for an entire hour. And if you know him, you know he is not a high-pressure salesman. He loves to help businesses. His wife is in charge of paying bills and has to remind him to charge paying clients. CountyQuest.com. Trust me, it's a good time. Anyway, my 6 minutes is almost up. I hope you found value in this episode, and I hope you understand now why context is so important when preparing for Copilot. Nobody likes picking vegetables in a weed patch. I'll see you next week. This is Annie signing off.